We now know what it would take for Zach Lavine to be traded away. Will the Chicago Bulls actually get an offer that will make them pull the trigger? And Vooch could be here for 3 more years with the rumored deal on the table. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So Zach Lavine's possible trade package is on the table. Will we see anybody pulling the trigger? Per KC Johnson, the Bulls would be focused on getting back a good young player, multiple first round picks, and salary filler if they decided to trade Zach Lavine. Do we think that a deal like this could get done? At this moment, I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. When I look at what the Bulls are basically saying here, to me, this says we don't want to move on from Zach Lavine. It's going to take you knocking our socks off for us to move on from Zach Lavine. So maybe stop asking about Zach Lavine, or I guess maybe, you know, right, like we've heard what you guys have offered for Zach Lavine. Now we're going to tell you what realistically it would take. And I'm not surprised by that. Listen, I know that everybody is willing to move off of Zach. I know that, you know, a good chunk of Bulls Nation doesn't believe that Zach is the number one guy. But you know what? That same good chunk of Bulls Nation didn't believe that Jimmy Butler could be a number one guy. And you want to know something? He went on and he's taken multiple teams to the playoffs, and he has gotten teams to the finals 2 times in the last 4 years in Miami. And you just don't know how these guys are going to develop. Now, is the situation in Chicago good right now? No, it's not. I'm not going to tell you it is. But AK is looking to be competitive while trying to find the right piece. Why do we know? It took Denver, 8 years after drafting Jokic to finally get to an NBA championship, to finally even, you know, get a team that looked like, oh, yeah, this team is going to be championship ready. They were ready to give up on Jamal Murray. They were ready to give up on Michael Porter Jr.'s back. I'm talking about the fan base, not the actual organization. And guess what? They didn't get rid of any of them. They waited it out. They used continuity. I know this is a bad word in Chicago now. They used continuity. And guess what? They end up getting to the promised land. Does that mean that the same thing is going to happen for the Chicago Bulls? No. But I think that there is precedence in multiple situations where you look at Jimmy Butler's situation, Larry Markkinen leaving the Chicago Bulls and, you know, kind of finding himself as a number one option. You know, the situation with how they've done things in Denver, and you say, I can kind of see how the Chicago Bulls are probably going to do this. They're going to try to add to this team. There's only $17 million in cap space right now, not a ton that they can do this season. Again, Lonzo really set them back in what they're trying to do, but I do think that going into next season, you're going to see them try to add in some pieces to kind of be filler pieces around until they can finally get out of the Lonzo contract and maybe go after a bigger name fish. But their goal right now is to be competitive until somebody turns into their version of Nikola Vucevic. That's going to be the goal the entire time. You can look at history of the Denver Nuggets to say that, right? It's the philosophy that AK was raised up in. I think it's probably the philosophy he's going to use here. You've got 5 of your next 7 draft picks still available. They're going to try to make those picks. I think that it would be surprising to me if the Bulls moved on all of a sudden from Zach Lavine and we're just like, you know, we're just kind of done with this experiment after 2 years and 1 season after paying him. I just don't see it. I don't think that's how AK is going to operate here. Does that mean that I agree with every move AK has made? No, I don't. But I do think that there is something to be said to waiting and seeing. And I know Muzz are going to be like, I've been waiting for 25 years. I've been waiting since 1998 with Michael Jordan. That's the last time. Listen, that's not AK's problem. I don't know if y'all know this, but AK wasn't that guy that was running those teams after Jordan or after Krause. You know what I mean? Like it's silly to think that AK is going to divert from his plan after being here for 2 years. And I think that this trade package really says that again. If somebody were to offer you a young player, multiple first rounders and salary cap filler, remember that has to fill basically, right? So whatever that young player is making, probably on a rookie deal, then you have to have cap fillers to fill out basically the rest of Zach Lavine's contract. If somebody comes and offers you that deal, the Bulls would be stupid not to take it. And basically what they're saying is you've got to give us a deal that's so good we would be idiots to not take it, and we would have to move on in this situation. Do I think that some teams could be that desperate and get to that point? Possibly, but I do want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think there's any teams that will get that desperate that is willing to offer this package? I don't know. I don't believe so. I think, you know, maybe like if the Orlando Magic decided, hey, we're sick of being at the bottom of the barrel, we want to go for it, and we think Paolo and Zach Lavine would be a good combination, maybe you see something like that. But who's the team that has multiple first round picks, a bunch of guys for salary filler, and a good young player on it that's willing to move on from that, that's trying to add Zach Lavine so that they can get him to continue? I guess maybe Portland. Like maybe this is them saying, Portland, if you want Zach Lavine, come and get him. This is what it's going to cost. And you have a lot of that stuff. Maybe Portland. Like that's the only one I can think. It's really the only team I can think. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. In other news, Nikola Vucevic's possible contract has been leaked as well. Basically saying that the Bulls are trying to get him in here at a possible 3 years, $65 million per type of deal. Would you guys be interested in Vooch sticking around for that? I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I think that what does that work out to, like 21.7 basically a year, something like that. I mean, listen, he's still a top 10 center in the NBA. Is he the center that people wanted him to be, right? Is he this spaced it out type of center? No, he's not, but he never was. You're talking about one season where he was lacing that three ball. You know what he was the entire time? He was a guy down in the paint with his back to the basket, doing post moves, knocking down jump shots. That's what Nikola Vucevic is. That's what Nikola Vucevic should still be for the Chicago Bulls. You have a guy that is great in the post. Literally, there's maybe 2 guys in the NBA who have better back to the basket footwork than Nikola Vucevic on the offensive end. Whatever his struggles are on the defensive side of the ball, sure. Are they there? 100%. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's a good defensive center. What I am going to sit here and tell you is he's not the worst in the NBA, and we could do a lot worse than having Vooch on our team, especially at a contract that possibly could be pretty team friendly. I mean, if you're talking about, you know, what you want to add into this contract, I would front load it. I would have everything front loaded so that when you're coming off of DeMar's contract, when you're coming off of Lonzo's contract, right, maybe there's an option in there on a Vooch contract where, you know, it's really a 2-year deal, a lot front loaded, a little bit on the back end. Bulls have an option to pick it up if they feel good about what they're seeing, or maybe they want to move them and not lose them for nothing. I would like to see something like that. And at a minimum, right, it's basically what me and Hayes have been saying over on Locked On Bulls the entire time. It makes no sense to move on from Vooch and not get anything back for him. It doesn't help your salary cap. You don't get more money on your salary cap by not re-signing Vooch, right? Your cap is basically what your cap is. I mean, you might get I believe you get $2 million back on top if we don't re-sign Vooch, but at the end of the day, you're not getting the oh my god money, right? You're not getting Vooch's contract back in cap space, so you might as well sign him. If you sign him and you feel like this ain't the move, you can still move him once you've signed him. I don't think that's what AK plans to do again the entire first half of the video, but I do think that it could be an option. And I would rather have an option of a guy who I can move on from than the option of a guy who, okay, yeah, Vooch had a little bit of a down season last year. He's still one of the best double-double guys in the NBA. He's still a guy that can go down and rebound. He's still a guy that can knock down the three ball. He's still a guy that's one of the best back-to-the-basket centers in the post. What do you guys want to give me for him? Now you're not just losing him for nothing. It just makes no sense to do. I'm okay with this deal. If it does get done, I would be fine. I would love to see kind of where he fits into Billy Donovan's scheme. If you're adding in hopefully a bigger 4 or another guy who could play the power forward position coming off, because to me, you got to find shooters. If you find shooters, it turns Vooch into a much better player, because Vooch is one of the best passers on this team. His back to the basket game, like I said, is phenomenal. He's going to be able to find you out of the post, and if you start him off in the post, and I guess this on top of it all, if Billy Donovan actually utilizes this guy in crunch time, That's the big thing for me. Like, you've got a guy who literally is just like, just go down low. Like, we don't need the 3 ball here. We're just trying to get back into it. Go down low. You've got a guy that can establish himself in the post a lot and can move people out of his way a lot. And we don't go to him enough in those moments. And I think that's, to me, that's the Bulls' biggest fault, is that they try to go so heavy on DeMar's getting this shot or Zach Lavine's getting this shot. Go more on Vooch is getting this shot, because the shot 5 feet from the basket with the 7-footer with the nice touch and the turnaround hook shot is a lot easier than the step back pull up 3 from 30 feet away. Like, it's just, I would love to see the Bulls utilize that a lot more. We'll see if what they end up doing, if they do end up holding on to Vooch. I would love to know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let me know if you are in favor of Nikola Vucevic sticking around with the Chicago Bulls. But like I said, I'll be down in the comments talking with you as well. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. We got more content coming your way tomorrow. I know this video got out mad late, but it's we were working in a new studio, man. New studio coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we'll have more content coming you guys way early tomorrow. So stay in tune with us, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.